So with the recent release of the upcoming Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, did we inadvertently get confirmation that Thanos' snap in Infinity War never actually happened? So as everybody should know by now, that in the conclusion of last year's Avengers Infinity War, the Mad Titan Thanos assembled the Infinity Gauntlet, snapped his fingers, and wiped out half of all life in the universe, including one Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, in the event now officially referenced to as the Decimation. Now in the Avengers Endgame Super Bowl commercial, we got a glimpse of the post-Decimation world that appears devastated by the loss of half of the population, with survivors mourning the loss of their loved ones, a world that appears to be in chaos and more than likely facing some level of societal collapse. Now let's contrast that to what we see in the first trailer for Sony's Spider-Man Far From Home. There we see a very much different world. A world most notably where Spider-Man, all his friends and loved ones, are still alive and everything seems to be normal. So this begs the question,
what just happened?
So the Far From Home trailer clearly shows us one of two things. Either the next Spider-Man movie takes place before Infinity War, making it a prequel, or it takes place in a world where the decimation never occurred. Now we already know that it's been said that Far From Home takes place minutes after the conclusion of Avengers Endgame, so it logically only makes sense to assume the latter. It also clearly lines up to assume that whatever the remaining Avengers do in Endgame will most likely not just be a reversal of the snap, but more likely they will prevent it from ever occurring in the first place, along with most likely everything else that happened in Infinity War.
This is gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
I think this is the most likely scenario because if you look at the demeanor of all the characters in the Spider-Man trailer, everybody appears to be perfectly happy, and the world appears like nothing has happened, which is in stark contrast to what we saw in the Endgame TV spot. So if the snap is just undone, and all of the victims brought back to life, it seems highly unlikely that the world would just go back to normal. If anything, it would probably make things worse. Think of the population of survivors that go through the loss and then the inexplicable return of their loved ones sometime later. This would be an emotional roller coaster that would have lasting effects on society for generations. Not to mention the amount of collateral damage to infrastructure that was done when everybody disappeared, such as cars crashing, planes falling from the sky, you know, the sorts of things that we saw in the Infinity War post-credits scene with Nick Fury and Maria Hill. There would be hundreds, if not thousands, of airplane crashes, car crashes, industrial accidents, and in general chaos throughout the world, where those who did not actually lose their lives in the decimation may actually be killed by the after effects. And of course, if Thanos' snap is just reversed or undone, these lives would not be brought back. So understanding all of that, it seems highly unlikely that the world we see in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is in any way a world that has experienced the decimation. And that is why it seems highly likely that in Endgame, the Avengers will prevent Thanos from ever making the snap in the first place, and is also why I think that's been confirmed in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. So what do you think? Do you think that the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer confirms that the decimation never occurred, and that the Avengers will prevent Thanos from ever snapping his fingers during the course of Avengers Endgame? Or do you think it's possible that Far From Home does take place before Infinity War and we just haven't been told that? Or do you think that I'm just way off base and it shows us nothing but a post-decimation world where everything is completely back to normal? Please let me know in the comments below, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.